Pretty good.
We'll find out. And then where did that mic thingy go? There it is. Got it.
This little.
Can you go ahead and get your headset on? Mm-hmm.
Just opens it up.
Okay. Master switch on.
You don't have to do a push it. Oh, okay, it's all automatic.
Delaware traffic, terminal 6125, departing runway 10, left downwind departure, Delaware.
Takes about 45 seconds for the computer to boot.
Okay.
It's going to be really loud. It's going to say Dine on Skyview.
All right.
Dine on Skyview.
Good morning.
I told you. Okay.
Message.
So choke on, ignition A on, ignition B on. I've got the brakes.
Okay.
You've got the starter, and it's just like a car. As soon as you feel the engine running, just let go.
Right. So we're good to go?
Clear? Yep.
Message. Voltage.
Okay.
Message.
Okay, so brakes are up above, right?
Yep.
Engine monitor.
Then you can use that bungee cord to hang it right on there to hold that closed. Otherwise, the wind will open it right back up.
Okay, I gotcha. Innovative. Works.
Yep. Can you hold the brakes?
Sure.
Delaware traffic, Mitsubishi 22 Mike Kilo, we're about 3 miles southeast, try to enter our left base 428. Traffic, we're about 5 miles to the southwest inbound for 28 Delaware.
So it looks like everybody's switching over from 10 to 28.
All right.
Okay. And it's going to be a couple of minutes before we get oil temperature.
Okay.
Delaware traffic, Mitsubishi 22 Mike Kilo, we're a high left base for 28.
And I'm not going to go too much into engine operations, because if you build one of these, you're going to be building the injected version.
Right, okay. So that's just staying off until it warms up enough, then it'll pop in, or?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's a very, very busy screen.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's kind of stuff is new to me, but
yeah, lots and lots of data.
Sure.
And after you learn where everything is, it's very,
second
very
nature, yeah.
But yeah, you'll spend a lot of time hunting with your eyeballs of, so where is the hell is that thing?
Oh, yeah.
Delaware traffic, Mitsubishi 22 Mike Kilo, we're final for 28 Delaware.
These batteries, or excuse me, these fuses have a little LED in them.
Oh, really? Okay.
And as long as current is flowing, there's no voltage drop across the fuse, so the LED does not light.
I gotcha.
But if the fuse blows, there is a voltage, and boom. So it announces itself if there is a blown fuse.
Oh, really? Well, yeah, like I say, the technology now, it's amazing. Is that friction lock in there too, or?
It's a friction lock and it's a vernier throttle, so very, very nice.
Okay.
The manual says keep the RPM below 2500 until the fuel temperature correction, oil temperature is up.
Okay.
Stellar traffic 16 here is entering downwind for 28.
And I've just learned that I stay here until the temperature is 90 degrees, and then by the time we taxi out, it'll be ready for run
Keep
out.
warming up, yeah, right. Makes sense.
Stellar traffic, Mitsubishi 22 Mike Kilo, we are clear of 28.
So, listen to the weather.
Delaware Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation. 1746 Zulu. Weather. Wind 200 at 4. Visibility 10. Clear below 12,000. Temperature 3 Celsius. Dew point -5. Altimeter 3032.
Now, did you have to build all the harness yourself for everything, for all the wiring? Oh, it was already done too.
Harness came as a package out of the box.
Really?
I do recommend the autopilot just because it's absolutely fun, and I can change the 3 most common things just with these 3 knobs. They're dedicated. I can do the same thing with this, but it's button, twist, push, menu, select, hunt,
here
find.
it's just boom, boom,
but
boom.
here
Yeah,
it's
you got it
mechanical.
all. Yep, makes sense.
When we're on the ground, I can do.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So it's just a different way of looking at it.
That's cool.
Our traffic 16 Sierra, left base 28. Full stop, Delaware.
I've got a loose connection on.
UG2.
Yeah.
Delaware traffic, this is Mitsubishi 22 Mike Kilo. Is that an RV in the hangars there, and do you want to come out?
Sure, sir. I was waiting to warm up, but let me get out of your way so you can park.
Yeah, I'll sit here. I've got to cool down anyways. You're welcome to make your way out.
Release the brakes, please.
Okay.
012 on my.
16 Sierra is final 28, full stop.
Delaware traffic, Scarlet 18 is...
He lives right here in G4,
miles southeast
and
of
he
the
was
field.
telling me,
We'll be over
if I park here, it's going to be a little bit further.
Right, by the time it gets pushed in, sure.
Hey, Jason, it's Matt. I made a little mess here for you.
So you're pretty much just on the brakes all the time, huh? Or do you just... I mean, you're kind of...
You're almost always touching them a little bit. Turn those back on.
Okay.
That's interesting. I just goosed the throttle a little bit to get us going, and the temperature jumped from 80 to 100.
Huh.
Engine monitor. Engine monitor.
So everything's in the engine monitoring stuff is already set up
Yes.
for this engine with this screen, I guess.
Yep.
Right? The computer.
Yep.
So you don't have to program and do...
Yeah, you get some files from Dynon, and then the engineers at Vans tweaks them a little bit,
okay.
and you get a file from Vans, and you just load it.
Engine monitor.
You're pretty much set up, yeah.
Now, this engine does not like to have a low RPM. The transmission from the reduction gear to the prop hub itself is not fixed. There are dog gears like this,
Okay.
and when the engine is driving, it's pushing this way, but then at null thrust, they can oscillate.
It's going back and forth, yeah.
And if you've got the prop driving the engine, then they're pushing this way.
Uh-huh.
And you can feel it right now. We're kind of doing this.
Yep, yep.
But if I put positive torque on it all the time, then I overspeed, and then I drag my brakes, and I heat up my brakes. And so there's not really a great solution on that.
Uh-huh.
Delaware traffic, Cessna 2634 Echoes, 3 miles out on the 45 for the upwind for 28, Delaware.
All right. So on the main computer, back is the leftmost button.
Okay.
Yep, go ahead and hit back, please.
Okay.
Tools. Checklist.
Oh, wow.
Then this is a joystick. You can actually steer, push, or twist. It does
Okay.
all kinds of things. We did all of these before we started, but I'm just running my list.
Sure.
Okay, so to get out, that handle, twist to your side, the back,
Okay.
the tail goes to your side.
Okay.
It's really tough. It's a big twist. If you
Okay.
think that you're going to break it, keep going, it'll work.
Okay.
Fuel valve is down. I know I've got more than 4 gallons. Strobes, we already got that.
Delaware traffic, Cessna 2634 Echo on the upwind for 28, Delaware.
Okay, and that's that. Fuel trim is right there. This is an up-down electric trim.
Okay.
And I'm setting it a little bit above the green line because there's 2 people in it. We're going to do a no flap takeoff, verify latch. We're up to. So I'm going to bring the RPM up to 4,000, and then you're going to cycle the ignitions one at a time.
Right. Crosswind for 28, Delaware.
Okay, it's close enough.
Okay, A, off.
Good.
Drop. E, off. Drop.
Good.
What's the max drop?
300, and then the differential is
Oh, okay,
120.
300, okay. Good to
And all my gauges are in the green. Fuses are not blown. Pressure's good.
Delaware traffic, Cherokee 56289, 10 miles to the east, straight in for runway 28, Delaware.
We'll have plenty of time.
Yeah.
And we're going to rotate at 55. We're going to climb out at 75.
Okay.
Max RPM is 5,500 RPM.
Delaware traffic, Cessna 34 Echo turning on the downwind for 28, Delaware.
Delaware traffic, citation 848 Golf. It's 5 to the west, entering left downwind, runway 28 at Delaware.
Getting busy.
Yeah.
Delaware traffic, lights forward 76012, departing 28 straight out, Delaware. Just kind of tap on the brake a little bit, get us around.
And Delaware traffic 34 Echo is midfield downwind for 28.
Friction lock off, roll a little bit.
Citation 848 Golf, entering the left downwind. We're at 2,500. We'll be a little wide here.
A little bit of right rudder to keep the torque guard full. Light on the nose, rotate about 55.
Engine monitor.
I rotated just a touch fast with 2 of us. Those were stall warnings. Up we go into the wild blue yonder.
There we go.
Dave's taking pictures.
Oh, yeah.
That little rumble right there, I think, is my nose wheel spinning down.
Okay.
And it always happens right about here, unless I do a touch and go wheelie and I never let the nose down.
Okay.
So that's my only diagnostic.
That visibility is great.
So the green circle is our glide distance. Terrain is yellow, meaning that it's less than 1,000 feet under us. It ought to start bleeding into different colors in a couple of seconds.
Delaware traffic, citation 848
I got
Golf.
VY right there.
Yeah.
So VY is very close to that critical angle that I've programmed into the AOA. And I've set my AOA to be pretty aggressive.
Okay.
So I get those chirps not when I'm near a stall, but just a little less.
Engine monitor.
Oh, what is she saying, Carly? Yes, thank you. A friend of mine was sitting in this plane and just playing with the avionics for several hours, and he ran the battery down.
Oh, okay.
So there's a battery literally right behind here. It is now getting charged while we're flying.
Sure.
But I'm going to get that message every 20 minutes until it's topped off.
Charge now.
Citation is 5 miles ahead of us, or somebody there is out there climbing. That's what that target says. But, you know, with 2 guys on board, we're climbing 800 feet a minute.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Not bad at all. I know when I fly my little planes, I like being by myself more than with somebody, just because it just performs so much better. You know, you can really.
Yeah, one additional person is a large percentage of your total gross.
For sure.
So I'll bring her back to about 23 something, just like that. And it's nice and trimmed.
Yeah.
Okay, it is your airplane, sir.
Okay. Yeah, it's almost hands off.
You have heat on your side, so if your toes are cold, just give that a little pull.
Fine.
But we're loafing along at 23 inches.
Traffic 3 Tango, turning left base, runway 27, I'm traffic effect, New York traffic.
I've got to get used to this side too, because I usually fly this way.
It'll take you 3 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure it's not a big deal, but.
Marine traffic 719, Lima is 33 miles to the east.
Yeah, comes along nice. Great visibility.
Yeah, just amazing.
Yeah.
Thought you'd find that funny.
New York traffic 3 Tango, turning final, runway 27.
Most of these data displays are blank because the plane doesn't have an idea of where it's going, so these are all nav fields.
Okay, I gotcha. Right, makes sense.
Delaware traffic citation 848 comes clear the runway.
So are you a CFI too then, or?
Yeah.
Oh, you are, okay.
Delaware traffic, Cherokee 289, we'll be crossing midfield, 2 miles from the north, for downwind for only 2A.
It's more of a hobby for me. I don't really instruct for a living. But it was a certificate that was challenge, and I like challenging myself.
Oh, that's cool.
But I'll do BFRs and instrument proficiency checks, mostly for fun, for free, for friends. So the plane obviously knows where it is and where it's going because of GPS. There is a magnetometer in the back, so it knows the direction that the nose is pointed. And with those 3 pieces of information of velocity, direction, and angle of the nose, it has enough information to calculate what the true winds are.
Oh, okay.
So the winds
Wow.
literally are 233 and 13, of which that's a 7-knot crosswind component.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And just
That's
having that
amazing.
in your eye, that's wonderful. I set up my AOA, that's the AOA display. Remember how I said that I set it to be a little aggressive?
Right.
If I'm on final and it's a slow chirp, I know that I'm on the right angle of attack. I don't have to look. So I can be eyes out and be seeing the runway, and I've got my ears telling me my airspeed, my angle. And it really helps my situational
Yeah,
awareness.
you're hearing the chirper, yeah, right.
So I can hear my airspeed and feel my airspeed. The Cirrus is spring-loaded. You can't feel your airspeed. And one of the first things that Ed and I are going to do is put an AOA in that sucker.
That's cool. That's a good idea.
Great traffic 950 Romeo, space 8.
Go ahead and do a couple maneuvers.
All right, turn right here.
Delaware traffic, Cherokee 289, downwind for runway 28, Delaware.
Like I said, just keep your eyes outside. This is an outside airplane,
Yeah, for
despite
sure.
all of its toys.
Really light.
Very. Ed did take offense when I said that the Cirrus was not a fun airplane to fly compared to this. And he was like, what?
What do you mean?
That's right.
Yeah, it's like literally no pressure. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Traffic, Cherokee 63 Foxtrot, 7 miles to the northwest, correction northeast, will be straight upwind of runway 25, incoming traffic.
The visibility is great, even down,
Yes.
being out in front of the wing a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you can literally lean forward.
Yeah.
And you are just about at the leading edge of the wing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Good airplane.
Delaware traffic,
I
Cherokee 28.
truly loved and do love my Cardinal. She's a good general purpose plane. Just a touch too heavy to fly for fun, just a touch too slow to really go places efficiently. And now I'm kind of separated, and I've got my
You got it all, yeah.
get up and go place.
Yep.
And this one is $100 hamburger.
Yeah.
And we head over to Urbana quite frequently for
yeah.
burgers.
Traffic, Cherokee 289, final runway 28, Delaware.
That's the biggest thing, like I was saying, you know, it's fun to fly what I fly. It's a blast, actually. But if you want to really go somewhere and do something, you can't really do it.
45 to the downwind runway 22.
Why don't you head, track that road out there,
Okay.
go around that square lake,
Alright.
and then I'll set us up and I'll program the navigator to take us back to Delaware.
Okay. So your true ground speed, I mean, most of the time, and obviously it's
About 100.
depending on the winds, but okay.
Yeah, right now we're heading 306. Our ground speed is 91. Our airspeed is 81, and that's because we've got a nice 9-watt, almost a direct tailwind.
Right, come behind us. That's a cool little feature right there.
Which one? Sorry.
No, him showing the
Oh yeah,
your
the winds.
Yeah, winds outside. I mean, that's amazing.
Okay. We've got traffic at 5 miles. He's obviously no factor, but with the current mandate for ADS-B, are you familiar with, in essence, what ADS?
Yeah.
In essence, I've got a very good GPS solution on board at all times, and 5 times a second, my ship is broadcasting who I am, where I am, what direction I'm going, and where I'm going to be in 5 seconds. And everybody else who's in the game is doing the same thing.
Okay.
The system is looking for airplanes within 3,000 feet of you vertically. They figure anybody higher than that really isn't a factor. And I've got a target out there. He is 200 feet below us. He's heading in that direction, and the length of his orange arrow is a rough indication of his speed.
Oh, okay.
So he will probably cross behind us, but I am definitely going to keep an eye out.
Right.
Because
He's out this way somewhere.
correct.
Urbana ground, track 121, you're from Charlie, join the downwind runway 20, Urbana ground.
We've been very, very gently climbing. So
Okay.
we're coming up. No, that's fine. He's lower than I am, so I like that.
Yeah, that's good. It's amazing technology, though. So this is him now, right?
Correct. The arrow is longer because I changed the scale.
I got it. He's going behind us.
One would hope. But he's definitely below us and is now going to pass behind.
Right. But that doesn't mean there could be another plane without. Oh, you got him.
I got him. Yep. So he truly is no factor.
Okay.
But when I started playing with this thing, it was like, damn, I had no idea that airplane was there.
Yeah. Wow. But now planes that aren't set up with this yet, you're not going to know where they're at. So you still got to be looking. Now they're not looking all the time.
Runway 20, Urbanagram.
All right.
So this is your comfortable, just cruise your whole setup right where we're at right now.
Yeah, this is a low-speed cruise. If I was actually trying to go someplace, I'd add a few more inches. I'd bring the tack up to 5,300.
Okay, I got you.
Urbanagram traffic, 120 from Charlie, turning
He's going behind us.
Yep.
Urbanagram.
So this is giving us a rough direction of where the airport is. That was where that would have been centered if we had turned immediately.
Okay.
I'm just going to update it. Boom. Now the airport is that away.
Okay.
So you've got a nice visual.
Right.
You can see the same information here and here.
Sure.
This is a schematic instrument representation. This is just your map. Go ahead, turn and bring us onto that purple line.
Okay.
I'll be looking for you.
All right.
And he's going to be ahead of us, and at our speed, we're not going to catch anybody.
All right.
See the river?
Urbanagram, 120 from Charlie.
Go ahead and just track towards the river, and that'll set us up on the south side of the airport,
right.
so we can get into a downwind for 2-8. You can trim, and you just hold the button for a second or two.
I feel it. Yep.
So why don't you give us a little bit of nose down trim so that we've got about 200 feet per minute descent, and that is right there.
Okay. Gotcha.
Perfect.
That's amazing.
And so just by telling the airplane where we want to be, a lot of this data is filled in. We're 9.6 miles away. We'll be there in 6.5 minutes. We're half a mile off from that perfect line that we'd originally wanted. Course and bearing, I don't care about. No.
Right.
Just keep flying towards the river.
Okay. Traffic right in front of us there. It's like it's not there. The canopy is. It's cool.
Yeah. Do you wear motorcycle helmets when you fly with the face shield?
Nah, I usually wear goggles and just a headset. I got a little fairing on the front of mine, and it really keeps the blast off you. More than you would think.
You're holding just a touch of back pressure. Go ahead and let the nose down a bit, because we've got some altitude to lose.
Okay. Yeah, it came off the 200. Closer.
And the sad truth of cross-country flying is it's actually boring.
Yeah.
Once
Right.
you get up and, especially when you've got something like this.
Yeah,
it's
something
all
like this would be fun just to hop to different places. Just, hang out a little bit, go on.
Northeastbound of the field.
No, I know what you mean.
Traffic. Request traffic advisory for Delaware traffic.
Delaware traffic, light source 76012 is 7 north of the field. We'll be crossing over the quarry to establish a downwind for 2-8 full stop. Delaware.
Alright, we'll make west traffic runway 28, Delaware traffic 26.
So typically, like you say on a cruiser, you want to move a little bit more, you set it up at what, 53?
About 53, 5400.
53, 54. And at that point, you're cruising at what?
105 true.
105.
Traffic Cherokee 6 over long approach 27
I'm going to bring the throttle back just a bit so that we can come down.
Okay.
There's a safety design in this throttle assembly. The Rotax 912 is actually two separate engines with one crankshaft. But cylinders 2 and 4 have their own carburetor. 1 and 3 have their own carburetor.
Oh, okay.
And so this cable wise,
Spreads them.
and there's a safety feature that if one of those cables breaks, well then a misbalanced engine isn't going to get you anywhere. It's going to rip itself apart.
Absolutely.
So there are springs on the carburetors that will both go forward. So if a cable breaks, you're going to get a really rough engine, and the book says firewall the throttle. If it settles out, then that's what your problem is. And you fly at full power, and you turn off the ignitions to come down.
Oh.
Well, that's nice, but what that means is, if you're not paying attention, the engine advances itself.
Yeah.
The engine creeps itself up, and that's one of the things that happened. I didn't tighten the friction knot down all the way, and we've been adding power. So you've been trimming down, but we've been adding power.
We're fighting it, yeah, working against each other. Gotcha.
That is our extended center line.
Okay.
Super, super nice when you're approaching an unknown airport.
Yeah, for sure. It'll help you find it too.
Yeah.
You didn't see it.
So just keep flying over the river.
Okay.
And I'll point out a landmark that we could use as our downwind leg.
Okay.
Gonna enter on a right 45.
Actually, I can show it to you now. There's a S-shaped road there.
Okay.
There's a segment that is parallel to the runway of that that parallel segment.
Further out, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, that parallel segment is typically what so keep going this way until you're a beam of that, then fly over that parallel segment. That'll be your downwind.
Okay.
And we're coming down nicely. When we get to about 2,000 feet, if we leave the power right where it is, but trim to arrest our descent, that'll slow us down. We'll have a really nice downwind leg.
Delaware traffic light port 76012 is just west of the clearing, coming down to power and altitude. We'll be entering a downwind for 28 full stop, Delaware.
They're on there somewhere.
3 mile east off field of the low and left downwind 2 will stay behind for Delaware.
They're just going to cut in.
All right, somebody just said that he was behind us, so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge for him because I don't think he can go as slow as I can. Yeah, go ahead and make your turn. That's close enough.
That's what you're saying with the road. That's it. Light wing loading, feel it bounce.
Very light wing loading, yeah.
No, my drifters do.
Sorry?
So my drifter's the same way, you just ride it.
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and trim for a little bit lower airspeed.
Delaware traffic light port 012 downwind for 28 full stop, Delaware.
Yeah, Delaware, Cozy 74 Golf Mike, 5 miles south. For 45 entry to downwind 28, Delaware.
Slow it down a little more.
A little bit.
Delaware traffic, code 26, 2 miles.
You're doing more with pitch and throttle.
45, left downwind, runway 28, Delaware traffic.
All right, here's Scarlett, and George is over there. Say it again, I'm sorry.
Nice, so you're doing more with trim than throttle?
Correct. Yeah, 20, 21 inches is pretty good.
Okay.
Okay, when we get a beam, which we are, go ahead and unlock the throttle friction, bring it back to about 13 inches. Yeah, just twist. Now you can bring it back to about 13 inches. And pitch up at the same time just a little bit.
Okay.
There we go. I got us into the white zone. I'm going to put our first notch of flaps out. And you're going to feel the flaps.
Oh, yeah.
Boom. Okay, go ahead and make your turn for base.
Delaware traffic, flight 4012 on base for 28 full stop, Delaware.
Trim up a little bit, slow down to about 70.
Delaware traffic, code 26, entering the left downwind, runway 28, Delaware traffic.
I'm going to add our last pot.
Okay.
Whoops. There we go.
Okay.
There they are. Okay, I'm going to fly with you.
And we're
going to come all the way back.
Looking for traffic, but you got entering left downwind for runway 28 Delaware.
I'm going to trim us up a little slower, and we'll do a little bit of an altitude download. There we go.
Delaware for traffic, 26, left downwind, Middlefield, touch and go on the way 28.
You want to take it?
My airplane.
Okay, you're on.
Just a little bit of a crosswind, not bad. As soon as the wings get ground effect, she just adds another 400 feet of drift.
Lots of float, yeah.
Engine monitor.
Very good.
Thank you.
And Delaware, Cozy, 74 Golf Mike, turning left downwind, runway 28, number 2.
It's like anything, you just got to get used to the airplane. It's
Delaware 012 is clearly active.
Yeah, with your experience in a really light, ultralight, you'll have no problem with the
Yeah.
fact that you get bounced around. And
oh yeah.
Delaware traffic, Scarlet 26 on base, runway 28, Delaware traffic.
Oh, and it looks like my next student is already there.
Oh, okay.
It's a busy ass day.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're busy.
And then I have to go to work at 3.
Oh jeez. So what do you do? What do you?
I'm an ER doc.
Oh really? Okay. Oh.
And I just changed
Delaware
shops
traffic,
from
final runway
Fayette
28.
County all the way out at Washington Courthouse to right here at Delaware.
Oh okay.
And God, this is exactly why. I've got 8-hour shifts instead of 12s.
Yeah.
And it's 5 minutes away from my hobby instead of an hour and a half.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, I came out and I get to play with my airplanes this morning.
And go do your thing.
Then I just go do and get some money to pay for it all.
Absolutely. Very cool.
Delaware traffic, Cozy, 74 Golf Mike, turning left base.
Yeah, it's a fun little airplane though. I mean,
Delaware.
you know, it's. I'd say it's what I expected, but it's it's like this step from the sitting out in the open, and it handles really nice. I mean,
Oh, it's amazing.
controls are so light. I mean, it's amazing how well it handles.
Notice that I get ready to park on the wrong here. I've done that twice. It happens. Yeah, if the door isn't open, I know something's wrong.
Especially when you got them both.
And Delaware traffic, Cozy, 74 Golf Mike, turning final runway 28 Delaware. Teleport Vista 6 onto the runway 20, remain in left pattern, Delaware.
So that AOA van you were saying, is that part of the plane, or that was your own?
It was not originally, but everybody kept asking for one, and so it is now officially part of the kit.
I gotcha.
Okay, the shutdown procedure is amazingly simple.
Okay.
B off, A off, master off.
So right down the line.
Engine.
That's it.
Wow, very cool. I sure appreciate the hell out of you.
Oh, I appreciate the opportunity to show off.
And it's really cool.
Now, the only thing that you have to
cool
do is
airplane.
remember to take the
Before you
safety
open the
clip
canopy.
off.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh, notice that the computer is running, and it'll go for 30 seconds unless you hit stay on.
Oh, okay.
So if I ever lost
So you
main
don't-
power,
yeah.
I still have a flight computer, and it's good for 45 minutes.
Really? Wow. And that's just its own
That was the
backup
little
battery?
That was the little battery that it was
Okay.
complaining about that
Right,
needed to
right.
be
Needed to
recharged.
be charged. So the switch is basically just for starting.
Yep,
It's
that's
not,
all it is.
not an ignition to. Okay.
Yeah, the first time I tried to start this thing, I didn't think about that, and I ground it.
Yeah.
Yeah, read the friendly manual.
What's happening? Good ride. See the RV grin?